My man?
64.
You're 64 years old. Oh, man.
Easy.
Oh, man. Dudes half your age can't do that.
I can't do that. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, OG on something.
No excuses. No excuses.
Rip right.
That's it, OG.
Shalom. Call Halayim, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the bottoms to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakathum to the hopefully elect, man. And just real quick, man, because I see videos like this sometimes, you know, and it just has me thinking about pretty much how in our kingdom, man. Well, first let me get this in Zechariah chapter 12. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of Yahweh before them. All right. And basically, because we're in a time now, like the scriptures talk about how they shall wear out the saints of the Most High, right? You know, because basically, when it comes to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, Esau has done a number on our people, all right? And being in this captivity, man, amen, is taking its toll on all of us. But even more so for brothers in the truth, man, you know, and you know, we're coming into the times where Yahweh Shemir Shai, he's going to renew our strength. He's going to give us our strength back. All right. And like the scripture that I just read, I'm gonna read it again. It says, In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them, basically weak, all right. Feeble meaning weak, all right. Whether it be in spirit, because like I said, a lot of us are worn out, tired. Mentally, we're exhausted, man. You know, but even physically, a lot of brothers deal with all type of physical ailments, you know, and even more so for brothers that are up in age that are in this truth, you know. It's basically talking about how, again, those that are feeble. Reading on, it says, At that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. All right. So the house of David being the elect. So you see again, because the Lord is going to give us our strength back. All right. And for brothers that, again, you know, deal with all type of physical ailments, you know, some brothers are overweight, so on and so forth, man. Again, you know, they should be as David, King David. Now, if you know about King David, man, you know, by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai, you know, King David, basically, he has spiritual power, man. You know, he was leaping through walls, and you know, they would swing swords at him, and they would break, you know, aim, you know, because again, going back to that spiritual power. So again, the Lord is going to give us, you know, that type of that type of ability. You know, and this is pretty much touching on the last video I did going into spiritual power. All right. Which again, you know, it's a thing of faith, man. You know, because like I said in the last video, man, it only makes sense. Yahweh Shemel Shai lifting up that standard. Because of how bad things are going to be out here. All right. You know, and so again, because you know, some of us are going to be put in situations where, you know, because like the scriptures talk about how Jacob is a worm, you know, we're defenseless, you know, we don't have no defense capabilities like a worm. It has no, you know, it has no way of defending itself. And against Esau and what he's got, we're going to need, you know, we're going to need that type of strength, man, to overcome. So again, you know, in that day, all right, when that standard is lifted and brothers receive that spiritual power, again, the weak man, he's going to be as King David, man. He's going to be tearing through buildings. And I'm talking about, again, the same the same brothers that are dealing with back problems, brothers that are overweight, brothers that are blind and, can barely see and whatnot. Hey, man, in that day, those same brothers, they're going to be lifting up buildings, man. Ripping through, what do you call it? Those they got those basically ripping through what do you call it, man? Like those like the bomb shelters that's, they're supposedly bomb proof and, stuff like that. But again, brothers are gonna be tearing through it like nothing, man. Lifting up buildings, throwing cars, all type of stuff, man. Brothers are gonna be doing these things. And again, because it also mentioned the house of David. All right, the house of David shall be as God. All right. Again, just going into that spiritual power. I'm gonna get a few examples, and one is what is that? 1 Samuel chapter 18, and you see, because the mighty men of King David, they're back today. All right. 1 Samuel 18 and verse 7, it says, Sluggy, that's not what I wanted. But I'll read it anyways since I'm here. 1 Samuel 18 and 7, it says, and the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. So again, being that King David was a mighty man of war, all right, he was slaying cats left and right, because again, the Yahweh Shem Shai gave him that ability to do so. Like I said, he was leaping through high walls. All right, King David was doing all type of crazy stuff, man, during his time. All right, and we're going to see that stuff again in this day and age when it's all said and done. Trying to look for this real quick. That's not what I was looking for either, but I'm gonna go back to Zechariah, the 12th chapter, because there's a few good verses in here. Zechariah chapter 12. Could you see stuff like this with this OG, man? Scriptures also, I don't know if I mentioned this already, how the Lord's going to give us our strength back. So you see stuff like this, man. This is going to be nothing compared to what we're going to get, when we're in those indestructible bodies. I always picture to myself having a push-up contest, with the brother. But you see, when we get those, if we get, or when we get those spiritual bodies, man, hey, you try to do something like have a push-up contest with a fellow brother, man, in the kingdom. Hey, man, you might as well just be doing it for the rest of your lives, because again, in our kingdom, when we get our strength back, our youth back, listen, man, we're not going to get tired. All right, we could be doing push-ups for the rest of our natural lives in the kingdom. We're not going to get tired. All right, we're not going to get weary. All right, but going back to this in Zechariah chapter 12, I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about. Yeah, because again, when Yahweh Shem Shai, gives his men that spiritual empowerment, hey, we're gonna be tearing these nations up, and we're gonna be tearing this kingdom up. All right. It says, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem, and in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith Yahweh, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. All right, so matter of fact, let me read on down to verse 6. It says, verse 5, and the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, Yahweh of hosts, their power. Because again, Yahweh Shem Shai, he's going to execute judgment, and one of the ways he's going to do that is by using his men. All right, because like I said, the men of Yahweh Shem Shai, hey man, they're gonna be tearing shit up too. All right, they're gonna be tearing this kingdom apart too, and also a judgment against the 2/3. You know, some brothers, man, hey man, they're gonna they're gonna put some of these 2/3 to death because like I said in the previous video, man, you're gonna have bounties out on the men of the Lord, So people are gonna be coming after us. That includes the 2/3, man. It is bad enough that our own people hate us. Like I brought it out before, man. Psalms 110:3. In that day, or in that power, uh, in that day, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Slakia. So you see, man, because like I said, there's already a certain glow. There's already a certain shine when it comes to the men of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And you see, because Jake, they're jealous as hell, man. So they already have a disdain for us as it is. So when it's all said and done, and pretty much when it's all lawlessness out here, anarchy out here, and they pretty much think that they have the excuse to come against us. All right, hey man, because we do have a right to defend ourselves. The scriptures tell you, there's a precept that tells you it is a good thing to recompense tribulation to those that trouble thee. So we do have a right to defend ourselves. So in that day, hey, even some of these 2/3 are going to be put to death by men of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. But again, Yahweh Shemel Shai, one of the ways he's going to execute vengeance is by his men. All right, and those spiritual powers. Verse 6, it says, in that day will I make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So again, Yahweh Shemel Shai, I mean, he's going to use his men, certain of his men, to be tearing shit up too, tearing shit up as well. As again, the Lord's going to give us our strength back. All right, power is going to be given to the men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, I'm gonna get this in Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40. I'm gonna start at verse 28. It says, "Hast thou not known? How hast thou not heard? That the everlasting power, Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding." Because again, the Heavenly Father, all right, Yahushai, and even the angels, they don't get tired, because the angels, they're constantly at work. They're constantly traveling to and fro, in and out of the earth, going through the spiritual realm. They're constantly, working, and the angels don't get tired because they're in those angelic bodies, man. Verse 29, it says, "He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength." So you see, when it comes down to it, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shai, to those that get the spiritual power, he's going to tap into their pineal gland, all right, and give them the ability and the access, to whatever it is. Because like I said, brothers are going to be doing all type of stuff. Brothers are going to get, they're because like I mentioned, brothers are going to be picking up tanks, man, and throwing cars and all type of stuff. Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's going to put it into their minds. He's going to tap into their minds to, and so they, it's like the scene from what do you call it? The Matrix, right? When Morpheus was fighting Neo, right? And they were, programming putting the program to, learn how to fight the karate or whatever. It's the same thing with us. That's how the Lord's going to do with us. He's just going to tap into our mind. He's going to program us to be able to perform certain abilities. All right. Verse 30 says, even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. Right. And like the guy said in the video, man, people half this man's age, man, can't even do what he was doing. And he's right. I know, just, because I started this fitness journey that I'm on, because you got to take care of yourself, man. You got to take care of this flesh. The scriptures tell you to. It tells you that a bodily exercise profited a little bit. So, you got to take care of this flesh, to the best of your ability. So this fitness journey that I'm on, that I started a couple of years ago, before that, man, I couldn't even do a pull-up, man, and even now, man, I can get some out the way, even push-ups, man. I remember back in middle school and high school, when I was at my they say the prime of your strength or whatever. I couldn't do push-ups. I couldn't do none of that stuff. All bent out of shape or whatnot. But you see, man, verse 31, it says, "But they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." So you see, again, the Lord is going to renew our strength. Let me read that again, verse 31. But they that wait upon Yahweh, because again, it is a thing of waiting, being patient, which a lot of guys, they lose patience, right? They give up, right? But to those that endure to the end, Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to renew their strength. It says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. So again, brothers are going to be flying, brothers are going to be jumping hella high, like King David. King David was jumping over walls. Hey, brothers are going to be jumping over buildings, and I'm talking about high-rise buildings, man. Not talking about those high-rise buildings. Brothers are going to be jumping over that stuff like nothing, right? And flying, It says they shall run and not be weary. Hey, brothers are going to be like Flash out here, man. Like this, what do you call it? The scenes from the X-Men movie with the Quicksilver, how it's like he's able to stop time, or everything else is around him is going slow, That's because that's what's going to be happening. Brothers are going to be running so fast, man. What do you call it? The sparks are going to be coming off their feet, leaving a trail of fire, like Flash and shit, man. Brothers are going to be doing that stuff, and they're not going to get tired. It says, "And they shall walk and not faint." So you see, again, Yahweh Shemel Shah, man, he's going to renew our strength. He's going to give us power. Let me get this in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3. And you see, these things have to be talked about, because like I said before, a lot of the Israelite camps, they don't even believe in the spiritual powers. They don't believe in these things. And this is a part of our comfort, because again, how else are we going to escape destruction when it comes? How else are we going to escape? Because again, it's going to get so bad out here, man. But through the comfort of the scriptures, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's going to provide a way for us to escape it. That's that standard. All right, Isaiah 59:19. That's that standard, a way to escape. All right. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 7, it says, "And in that time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble." So you see, again, brothers are going to be running so fast. They're going to be, leaving sparks of fire, a trail of fire, all type of stuff, man, is going to be going on when Yahweh Shemel Shai gives us our strength back, right? And again, this is the comfort of the scriptures, man. This gives us hope. Psalm chapter 18. And you see the one thing with King David, because again, man, King David, man, he did all type of crazy stuff, man. But he always gave the credit to Yahweh Shemel Shai, because he knew and he understood, all the mighty acts that King David did, man. And it's amazing when you look into what King David did, and the stuff that he was able to accomplish. How else was he able to kill tens of thousands of people, man? Because I'm sure, when King David was on the battlefield, man, he was moving so majestically, man. I'm sure he was agile, and he was just, I could just picture it, man. Something straight out of a movie, man. How swift he was with the blade, man. How fast he was, man. Because they try to give the credit to, stuff like ninjas and kung fu. They try to give that to the Moabites. No, man, that stuff started with our people. All right. We were the original so-called ninjas and kung fu masters and all that type of stuff. You know, all that stuff that you see in the movies, man. That our people were doing that. King David was doing that. You know. But I'm gonna read this here in Psalm chapter 18 and verse 28. It says, "For thou will light my candle, Yahweh my power will enlighten my darkness." So again, because it takes Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to light that spark in us. He has to tap into our minds, and you know, he has to program us to be able to perform these abilities, right? Verse 29, it says, For by thee have I run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall. So you see, again, you know, ultimately all credit goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. And again, King David, hey, he always gave credit where it was due, you know, to the Lord, man. All right. But again, verse 28, it says, For thou wilt light my candle, Yahweh my power will light my darkness, right? Programming us, right? Tapping into our mind and programming us, right? To do these things. Verse 29, For by thee have I run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall. So you see, King David was able to perform these things because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua was with him and gave him the ability to do these things. Actually, that wasn't King David. I think that was Moses, if I'm not mistaken, where it talked about how Moses, because technically King David was Moses, for those that have ears to receive it, but I think it was Moses that when he died, it talked about how he died in the old age, man, and his eyesight wasn't, you know, because you know the older you get, the more your body wears out and the more your vision goes. I believe it was with Moses, you know, when he reached up in age and it was, you know, time for him to go to the spiritual realm. It talked about how his eyesight, man, it wasn't dim, you know, his eyesight didn't give out, you know. So, you know, stuff like that, man, you know, this is stuff that we can look forward to in the time to come, you know. And again, giving all credit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because, you know, all these things is to the glorification of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you know. But yeah, man, you know, that's pretty much it, man. I just, like I said, I just saw this video and I just, you know, I just thought about how Yahweh Shemel Shah, man, he's going to give us our strength back. And like I read, you know, those that are feeble, man, they're going to be as King David. So, hey, man, you know, picture guys like this, or not even so, because this guy looks to be, you know, physically fit and in shape and whatnot. But picture guys like your grandfather, you know, walking on a cane and stuff like that. Hey, man, tearing through buildings and you know, going through troops, man, like nothing, you know. Hey, that's what's coming. That's what's gonna happen. And again, man, you gotta believe it, because ultimately it's a thing of faith, you know. But I'm ending it off there, giving all acknowledgement once again to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakathum to the hopefully elect. Until next time, Lord's will, I'll say shalom.